Whoa. Whoa. I think I'm allowed to post again. This is forever, children of God. I haven't fully lost my voice like that yet. No. Gosh, that was a long week. And unless I'm counting wrong, that was more than a week. It was like a week and a day, YouTube. So someone there also needs to maybe look at a real calendar, because that's 8 days technically. But then again, I'd have a day off. I'm sometimes a day ahead. No. I don't like when I start to find myself saying, Mo, you better not say this, or you better not say that. Don't say it like that. Don't do this. Maybe you just shouldn't say it at all. That's like communism. Okay. I took the little tab out. We're going to do a quick animal. I wanted to cook with you, but there again, I was like, you know, you probably can't really do that anymore because you're going to offend the vegans and stuff. Do you guys know anyone that eats animal protein that's offended if you make jokes about food? Yeah, you guys, come on. I mean, let's just like go like this real quick with the Lord. Lord in heaven, we know that you gave us a brain. We know that you gave us the ability to reason, have logic, look at things from a different perspective. We know that it's okay to also be in a group of people where we don't always have all the same ideas. That is not a blunt box with blunts in it. It may have had tobacco blunts at one time. That was eons ago. That is my recipe box now. So I wanted to start there because I was like, oh, it would be fun, you know, I'm going to cook a duck for me and John. And I'm like, can I even like do that? And then did someone call in because we have one chicken standing? Part of it's actually super cute. And it's also sad because she does need sisters, or she needs a rooster. But she does get to come in the sunroom every day. And she sits next to me and I put my arm around her like a kitty. And we hang out for a minute and she gets a special snack. Fruit is her favorite. Yes, it's recommended don't feed your chickens a lot of fruit and things because they like it a lot, but she loves it and she needs the vitamin C. Now, my month-long cold is kind of dissipated, and this is almost 3 minutes in of Yepper Chapper time, is did you have any real important things to say? Well, the one part about if you're feeling restricted in any way of your form of expression, even if that expression or to offend your neighbor or a relative or someone you may know. Meaning, don't just like be going up in people's faces and saying, hey, you piece of beepity beep, bop, bop, boop. That's a little more, that's different. That's abuse. Now, what I do in here could technically be called a form of abuse, but one of my target groups is freaks, and apparently they're up and running very brilliantly on my station because I was trying to get this out the other day, but then it didn't come out the right way, and then I kept forgetting to say it again because I'm trying to hurry right now to just get this over with, is there seems to be this, my husband and I went into the stats to figure out what's going on, and if we could figure out how to get this unblocked, we assume it's just some personal person that to get whatever. Okay. Is the views are not subscribers, but the views are up above, they're all mostly men. And maybe it is. Maybe it's the sickos that need help and they come here unidentified. I'm going to just pretend that that's what it is. Or maybe it's the government and they're just unidentified. And for some reason, there's still some sort of bizarre threat. I just think that's hilarious that I would be any sort of... What am I threatening? What am I, like, am I threatening that I might provoke someone to buy their own chickens or something on a small lot? I might provoke someone to get up and dance and be silly. Well, it's certainly better than some of that other stuff that's being encouraged, like long-standing promiscuity and whoring around. I mean, some of us had a whoring period in our lives. I did. I tried to keep them brief, but you know, when you come from a family of shattered dreams, you tend to be a little bit off center, and you gotta remaneuver. You know what I mean? My husband didn't live like a whore ever. It was not an important thing on his hierarchy of importances. He wanted to settle down with a quirky someone he loved and maybe have a family, maybe not. As things started to really progress, but then we were having issues. And then by the time we could have gotten money together to adopt, my son was a handful, and we just were like, he's too old. There's this big gap. It's going to create more of this jealousy friction going on because of personality types in the operation. I'm just going to keep that like more blank. And now I'm like nearly 50, and it may sound selfish. It's just, I can't. I've had too many Zappa traps, and I can't even imagine. Now I could babysit for someone for a few hours, like a relative or something. But okay, so this is the thing is, so my stats are very bizarre. I'm trying to get this closed up. Is this all the show is? Because this could maybe get canceled again. Because someone's out there just, we're going to make sure she can never make no money. And that's kind of what it feels like, because I'm getting enough of a base on Quora. I don't think it's all prostitutes. And if they need help, I should reiterate this. If you have a separate profile, just your more normal stance one that's not offering sex and night outs of sex fun towns is I'm more than happy to have you as a subscriber. Get a hold of me. I might be able to help you find another profession that would feel more, it would make you feel better about yourself. Is all right. So I don't want to deter prostitutes from coming to view my stations. Okay. I might get enough of a base to get a couple pennies flowing in the door, right? And then boom, there are always dudes. And I'm like, it's the stupidest rebellion I've ever done. I've had 5 stations that were threatened. None of them ever got nowhere because I refused to do Twitter and all these other groups that help get you going. And, but this group where the views are not equating the actual views, so that means this is what I'm trying to get to, that my viewers, my predominant viewers, are using some sort of other programming so that you don't even know they're there. You don't even know they're there. So, gosh, that took 7 minutes. Now, do you guys want to see the duck? There was one thing about the duck. All right, so if you're a vegan and it's very sensitive for you and you feel very connected with animals, and I fully understand that whole realm, I do. And you're like, well, then you're a hypocrite. Well, I am slightly, because I did try to be vegetarian several times in my life, and sometimes I do take a fast time. I found that my health was better at getting some form of animal protein. That's just me. And that doesn't mean like eating a steak 24/7. It doesn't mean anything like that. It was that, like, for instance, I gave up milk because they say you're a grown-up. People that are grown up don't need to drink milk. There's not much in it. There's blah, blah, blah. But guess what? Now we're ordering stuff from a local farm. It's not too far from here. It's called Calder Dairy. And they have a delivery service, and they deliver to the door. So you kind of get like this like old-fashioned feel. And they do certain dairy products. Well, you know what? I had that weird cold. You're like, no, that's the opposite of what you're supposed to do. Because I studied some nutrition. I don't have a license, but oh my God, am I going to get shut down for medical stuff again? This isn't medical. And that video they shut down, that was not I was not at all. That was some dummy doing that. And I'm going to say that. I'm going to say some dummy is, I started to feel a little better. I still think it's like an allergen because it's an old house. And we got to just keep chipping away. And I had that stuff blow up in my face. The soot or whatever it was. Okay, so here's the boys. And a full moon's coming. I believe the full moon is the day after Christmas. I bought John a couple gifts that he wanted, and then a new pair of slippers, and he bought me my own special toolkit. So the full moon is the 26th. So your animals and people that are very sensitive will be feeling very intense this holiday. Then I'm starting to think, I think every holiday falls on a full moon. So, I mean, it's not making much sense. But it kind of lines, that starts to then even line up more with the pagan thing. But I mean, we don't need to get into that right now. We don't need to be extreme on anything right now. And so, let's see what they're going to do here. I did do some kind of bizarre Christmas stuff because we're kind of off the road. This shouldn't be an issue. I just stepped in rain water. And that's all we're getting for Christmas is rain. I'm a snow girl. I really am. Even getting older, even though it's a little rough around the joints sometimes, the cold, I love the snow. I will love the snow till the day I die. That's why when it was always like, should we move to Texas? Let's go be old-time Western. Get that gun on the hip. Take charge. Or whatever. And like all that, I'm like, I don't think it snows there. There was that one time it snowed, right? Okay, so real quick, we're going to do the duck. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on like a thing over a glass thing, like this thing. Or I have a bigger one, and I think it'll work on the bigger one. So I have another one like this. So, but this is what I thought was kind of funny. It's not funny, because this will be upsetting. Now, I did tell the vegetarians to leave, right? Okay. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I understand what it is. I do. My blood type, we can actually, if we don't get enough of that protein, it can cause them more health problems. And I don't know if a lot of people know that, but I did post that video of those doctors. There's the O types, and I think another one, but the O is the oldest, and I think because we come from we would be the original hunter-gatherers. Oh gosh, we don't want to go off on this weird blood type thing because that really confuses me. So where did all the other ones come from? You know, like, wouldn't everyone just be the one? Okay, so this Culver duck, it says that it's natural and it's okay, and then this is where I do question things, but here we are. American Humane Certified. Okay. But it says ducks raised in free to roam barns with no antibiotics ever, no added hormones. So I get it, but I'm like, that's not really... So even they can take a word and change it. So free to roam. So that means they can go out of the barn, or like for instance, I never wanted the chickens. There was not one day we had them that we made them stay in that for too long, that enclosed area. It feels weird because it's not what they want to do, and they want to roam. They're roamers. And so, Miss Amber's was actually either chasing one of the stray cats. I'm not kidding. And she was so fed up. But the fact that she had been roaming where she's not supposed to roam. And you know what? You're going to say she's a chicken. She probably can't remember till last week. It's possible. But she knew because she came and she saw me and she tilted her head and she's like, hey, I'm over here. I'm not supposed to be, but hey, I was checking in, just chasing some cats out back. So if we can keep her alive, and we're gonna break this rule that Al made up, is and he probably is the one getting my stuff shut down, is we have to go back in and reconfigure, and we may not. It's just the dogs. It's just too much. Like Poe is still waiting for his opportunity, and it's like, I think you had enough opportunities, don't you? And so then I was like trying to come up with this stupid idea that if I could get where they can really be their guard watchdog and where they have the perimeter, the whole perimeter instead of any area blocked, but then we're going to have to move the chicken area to this one spot. It may or may not work. That means the spot where they would rest, they hang out, they kind of just cuddle and have their little jungle gym spots to hang out and chitter chatter and be funny chickens. And then the dogs would have the perimeter. And then obviously I would still have to be on the routine of bringing the dogs in, remembering that the chickens are roaming a bit and grazing, and then put Probably not. Probably not in this journey. If there's another journey and John and I land there, maybe we'll try it again with a more vast setup where the dogs can never get over to where the chickens are. But see, it's good to have the chickens near to the house. See, that's what a lot of people, I think. And there's probably a rule about it. And I get it. You can't be having 50 chickens by the house. I'm talking about you have 4 kitten chickens. They're like kittens because they're mischievous and they're explorative. And they're by the house where they like it and it keeps them safe. Now listen, outside of that, Michigan is in hot waters, the judicial system. I don't know if they keep trying to suppress the news outlets. Something is definitely going bonkers here. Well, like everywhere. But apparently some people were definitely not crossing all their T's and dotting all their I's, and I'm so glad to visit you again, all awry, even though I say stuff about the holidays and get a little confused and I don't know what to say, and maybe I get upset or a little hungry, but I will say this real quick. Christmas is coming, the goose is getting fat. Please put a penny in the old man's hat. If you haven't got a penny, a half penny will do. If you haven't got a half penny, then God bless you.